All right, guys, here is one of our passages for December 8th, Wednesday. It is called Plant Thief. We already know the format, guys. We're going to read through the passage. We're going to talk about it and answer our questions and look at strategies to help us answer those questions more effectively, okay? All right, so zoom in. Of course, you can read along if you so choose. Up to you. Okay. At holiday time, many people hang mistletoe. With its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very blank. But what many people don't know is that mistletoe is a parasite. Instead of making its own food, it steals from other plants. The seeds of a mistletoe stick to the branches of trees. In time, they send roots into the tree's barks. The roots suck up nutrients for a new mistletoe. Often, several mistletoe plants will grow and live off the same tree. Sometimes, this results in the death of the tree. All right, so this passage is talking about the famed Christmas mistletoe. And if you're not really sure with what's going on with the mistletoe, it's a backstory behind that whole mistletoe. If you get caught under it, you're supposed to kiss the person you're caught standing under the mistletoe with. But this passage is not talking about the tradition of a Christmas mistletoe. They're actually talking about what happens with a mistletoe and how they grow and how they actually steal nutrients from other trees. And we call those parasites. If someone is stealing nutrients or food or something from someone else and living on that something or person, we call that a parasite because they're sucking the nutrients out of you and living there and getting what they need to survive while killing you in the process. Okay. All right. So that is what we call a plant thief. Okay. Now, let's look at question number 1. The best word for the blank in this paragraph is. Now, the best thing for you to do is to go back up to the sentence that has the blank and fill in each word with that sentence to see which one makes the most sense, okay? Let's start. With its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very formal. With its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very emperor. With its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very affectionate. With its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very festive. Okay? Now, one thing we know for sure is that the affectionate does not fit in this sentence. When I say someone is affectionate, that means they want to be up under someone. They like to give hugs. They like to give smiles and handshakes. And so the dark green leaves and red berries does not make something very affectionate. Okay? Now, look at our first sentence. It says, at holiday time, many people hang mistletoe. So they're talking about people hanging the mistletoe around the Christmas time. And then it goes on to say, with its dark green leaves and red berries, this plant is very what? Now, is it festive for the holiday or is it too formal? Okay, so we're going to fill in those blanks. I'm going to pick D, and I'm only going to pick this answer here because I feel like it makes the plant festive for what the holiday is based on my sentence before. Okay, not based on just this one sentence, but based on the information before. And that's what we call using context clues. You want to go back and look at all the things surrounding this particular blank to get the correct answer. Okay, don't be afraid to read sentences before. Don't be afraid to read sentences afterwards. But you want to make sure that you find the correct word for completing this sentence. Okay. And Miss Howard thinks the best one is festive. All right, let's go down. The underlined words in this paragraph are an example of figurative language called. Now, figurative language is different types of figurative languages. So, a metaphor compares two things without using the words like or as. So I may say the sun is bright. I'm comparing the sun and brightness. Or I may say the rainbow is gorgeous. So I'm comparing rainbow and gorgeous together, okay? Similarly, I'm comparing two things using the word like or as. One of my favorite ones is shine bright like a diamond. They're telling someone to shine bright like a diamond. So I'm comparing shining bright and a diamond. Okay. So that's one of the ways. A personification means I am giving an object that's not human characteristics. And when I say that, I mean I may say the dog talks. Well, a dog can't really talk because it's not a human. That's a personification. Okay? And a hyperbole is an exaggeration. That means I'm going over the top. So I may say, man, I'm so hungry, I'm about to die. 9 times out of 10, people who say that are not really that hungry that they're about to die. That's an hyperbole or an exaggeration, okay? So let's look at our underlined word to see which one fits. It says, instead of making its own food, it steals from other planets. From other plants. Okay? Now, is it comparing two things? Not really. Is it using the word like or as? Not really. Okay? Is it an exaggeration? Are they exaggerating? Possibly. Or is it personification? Are they giving an object that's not human characteristics? So I'm going to give you a hint. It's between one of these two. Okay? Either they're making something sound human. Uh-oh, I'm off screen. Sorry. Or they're being extra. That's really what a hyperbole is. You just being extra, okay? So that's what you're going to have to determine. Number 3 says, in this paragraph, the word parasite must mean, is it an organism that lives off others, a plant that supports others, a pretty sun umbrella, or a popular holiday plant? One thing before I even go back up to the top, I know that we're not talking about a sun umbrella. Nothing in my passage ever said anything about a sun umbrella, okay? But I do want to go back up there and look. Does this plant support anything? One thing you can know for sure is the title says plant thief. That means it's not supporting anything, so I can automatically eliminate a plant that supports others. Now your job is to determine, is it living off of something or is it just particularly a popular holiday plant based on the passage, okay? And lastly, which of these sentences is most likely not true? Mistletoe is a popular plant. Mistletoe is bad for trees. Most plants make their own food. Buyers are informed about mistletoes. Now, if I'm buying a mistletoe for Christmas, I know for sure I have never heard anything about a mistletoe being a plant thief before reading this passage. Okay? I do know that mistletoes are a popular plant. I do know that plants make their own food through photosynthesis, and that mistletoes are generally bad for trees. Now, based on what I just told you, make a decision for question 4. Questions, call or text me 256-513-8064 or shoot me an email. All right, guys, that's all.